We are live here. It is Sunday, April 30th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific for the Weekly Walkoff show. We have a 30-minute episode today. We're going to dive into game weeks 9 and 10 on Sorare MLB. Talk some fun baseball stuff that happened this weekend, and then do a giveaway at the end of the show. So stick around for that. Excited to be here. Nate, what's going on?
Not too much, man. Happy to be here. Also, I think happy birthday is in order.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Congratulations on reaching another time around the year.
I appreciate it. It's a birthday stream. We had to do a giveaway. I was hoping for a little bit better of a birthday performance for my Sorare lineups. I'm not going to lie, but we're hanging in there in a couple. I mean, really wanted a birthday save from Fairbanks today, but they ended up going up, I think, an extra couple of runs in the 8th inning. It's been fun watching my Giants this weekend, man. I wanted to talk about that on stream today because
definitely
unbelievable. We couldn't even believe it. Like watching that game yesterday with, what was it, 11 home runs. I shared it in the Discord, but it was like 27 runs, 30 hits, 11 home runs in that game up in Mexico City.
I think I'm pretty sure that game turned the over-under line of today's game into 20 and a half. 20 and a half was the over-under.
Are you kidding me? Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all. Roger, Brennan, DJ, Miguel. Thanks for stopping by on the stream, man. Yeah, that was so much fun to watch, man. Even though we ended up losing it towards the end, I was just like, every single fly ball seemed like it went out of the park. I mean, like, if you're not hitting a home run in that game, like, what are you doing?
And I've always felt this way with whether it be the NFL games or the MLB games. When they do this international outreach, it's obviously meant to grow the game. So you'll love to see a game like that where everybody that showed up, I'm assuming it was a packed house, and they got that to watch. Just spectacular.
Oh, the energy looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what the weather, I mean, the weather looked amazing. I don't know what it was actually like up there, but it looked beautiful. And then funny thing today too, we're out with my family, and my pops is in town, baseball fan also. Told him the Giants were up 2-0. He's like, home runs? And I looked at the phone. Yep, 2 solo shots. 2 solo shots. Unbelievable, man. Super fun. Cool, man. Let's dive into Sorare, I guess. I'll kind of go over, let's take a look at maybe just game week 9, and then we'll do game week 10. We'll look at some top performers and just like kind of talk about stuff. Kind of a bummer this week. Really screwed me in fantasy baseball, the Braves Mets series, right? 2 rainouts. In fantasy, I have Riley, Lindor, I have Nimmo, and Albies. So that's fun.
Yeah, it's killer. I had Olsen in one of my lineups, who fortunately hit a home run on the first day. But it's the other side of the coin is that I've got a great NL only lineup going right now that doesn't have nearly as much pressure on it because of the lack of firepower from the Mets and the Braves. Those are big bats, and we'll get into that in a second, but I'm sitting pretty at the moment. We'll see what happens with Sunday Night Baseball.
That's nice. I mean, yeah, you're right. On the other hand, then there's that. You know, I didn't I played a couple of course, Riley and Murphy are my guys. I had Strider in my common all-star, Acuna and Riley in my common all-star, but you know, didn't get hit hard as much as people stack it. But hey, anyways, Panther Rob, hello. Hope you had a good time at the Panthers party. First overall pick. For those of you watching the NFL draft, I didn't really follow it that much this year, even though I'm a big NFL guy. Like, I was just busy with work, and like, you know, I'll jump into football later on. But worst finish in majors because of Acuna and Albies. Had Albies and Acuna combined for 6 points. That's rough. That's just, I mean, we were talking about this in the DMs, right? Like, that's fantasy baseball.
Yeah, that's where it goes.
Yeah, unbelievable. I'll share the screen real quick. Let's take a look at what we got. Man, limited pro. CJ Crone had a day. I think the main thing, right, last game week was Brandon Drury. Hello, welcome.
Yep.
Party.
which is also a really good, kind of a snapshot of what can go right when you get a stack right. And specifically playing Moneyball, which you talk a lot about, the highest scoring players each week are not always the studs, right?
Yep.
Sometimes it's Brandon Drury, and he happened to be playing Oakland, and he hit 4 of his 5 home runs on the year in that series. And
Yep.
so sometimes that's the way it goes. And that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of upside that you're looking for when you pick a player, specifically in a so rare format.
We were talking about this in the Discord a little bit too. DJ Local brought it up, but planning ahead when it comes to stacking, and when planning ahead when it comes to 4 game weeks on the Monday through Thursday game. So I like that. Brandon down here says Paredes had an amazing week too, for sure. I mean, I had him in my AL lineup, kind of like my leftovers lineup. I had him on the market. Great value buy, by the way. I think Paredes is like $4. I had him on the market for $7, pulled him off the market. Same with Sal Perez. I had him on the market for $6 or $7. I pulled him off the market after this game week too, just because it's more fun to have value. You know, if I'm getting $6 or $7, there's some stuff on my buy list that I want to buy, but it's also fun to just be able to field lineups because, like you said, you know, it's not always the top dogs that are putting up those numbers. So
especially if you put consideration into who those $5, $10, $12 guys are, right? You still want to hit a certain type of profile. You don't necessarily want the 8 and 9 hitters in a lineup, but if there's a guy that bats 6th or 7th that usually hits 25, 30 dingers in a season, those 25, 30 dingers are coming somewhere, right? And so they're usually more often than not going to come in weak matchups, and that's just the way that it goes. So those are the kinds of things that you can try and nail.
Absolutely. A highlight of last week, man, Spencer Strider with that gem versus the Marlins. That was fun. I mean, that was the first day of the game week, and I just remember thinking, if only every game week could start like this, you know, just like, I think it was the early game that night too, and just like being up, starting Strider, having him at the top of the leaderboard. Obviously, he didn't pitch this week. It was a DNP, so that was weak, but Gallen has been so much fun to watch too, as you know, has Hunter Brown. I just love watching Hunter Brown, and I mean, Charlie Morton was a good stream too. We both started him as a stream, kind of like a streaming option. It was a $4 card when I picked it up. Now it's $8, so doubled in price, and we know that doesn't happen all the time. So,
but it's cool. Also another point on, you know, things are not crazy liquid, so it's a little bit easier said than done. But if you stream the right guy for a cheap, you know, entry point, and then he has the game that you're hoping he has, should be relatively easy to at least get your money back on him, if not a couple bucks more in the case of Morton right now.
Yep, there we go. Let me see here. My favorite position, the relief pitcher. Chafin has been solid. I'm kind of working on a couple things on relievers where I try to have a wide range of guys. You know, like I think I'm going to start playing a solid reliever in my all-star lineup instead of going with like a rare Pete Fairbanks like I've been doing, or Camilo Doval. I have both of those guys listed on the market so that I can sell kind of this with the play as to getting a bigger bat in that rare category, so I can have a guy that I start all the time. I was hoping Varsho would be that guy, and he'll come around, but he's been a little bit slow. And then just throwing in a common, you know, Clase or Romano. Romano's been a dude. I mean, just all around and in so rare, of course. Corner infielder, there's Drury with 120. That's just banana land.
Yeah, that's not something you see every day.
It was amazing. It was fun. The Discord was going crazy. There's people, you know, man, shout out to the people who had him on the bench. That's just rough. There was 1 or 2 that I know that had him on the bench, and that's just tough to see. But hey, it happens. It happens to all of us, man. Like sometimes you just got to bench, dude. And then you catch the L for it and move on.
Fantasy sports is the foundation of fantasy sports is heartbreak. That's how it goes. You're gonna wake up and be happy once in a while, but for the most part, especially when you're playing a game like this where it's really the top small percentage that's getting rewarded, it's mostly disappointment, but that makes the wins that much sweeter, right?
No doubt it does. Yeah, treating it like a fantasy style too. I mean, like you're yielding, right? Like, you're yielding rewards. You can be consistent, but I'd rather yield, like 1 out of every 5 weeks a top tier reward than
Right.
like bottom tier rewards 3 or 4 out of those 5 weeks.
For sure.
I've always been a boomer bust mentality when it comes to setting my lineups, because if you can catch for some reason, if you can catch that, Otani reward or that top tier 1 reward, like how sweet is that?
Mm-hmm.
Albies went crazy too this week in this game week. This is game week 8. Who do we have at the top of the outfielder? Brent Rooker on the A's, man. That's pretty cool. What else do we got? A live look in. You want to take a live look in on your screen?
Yeah, let's jump into week 9 here, and I'll show people what I got going on.
Okay, sounds good. I'll show mine after, but yeah, let's take a look at yours.
So, like I said, I've been playing the minors competition the last couple weeks, just trying to grab. You only need to come in the top 50% to grab a tier 3. So don't have quite the star power to have a real competitive lineup, but enough that it's worth it. Although I just realized that once you actually cash for a limited, you can't play that anymore. So.
Yep.
And also realized that we should have played the prospect tournament week 1 because the top 50% got a tier 1 common. Should have done that. And
wow.
But once you play a game, you can't. So little fun fact for anybody that hasn't started. But common all-star, we'll see what Schwarber does tonight. He could sneak me back into tier 1, but looking like I'm probably going to end up with a tier 2 there. I'm okay with it. Limited all-star. Wasted the Gosman start. Whitlock got scratched and put on the IL 10 days. 1 hour before the game started. So I missed that. And Turner has just been absolutely stinking. But the real story here is my NL only, currently sitting in second place. And I did a stack with
second place.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So we'll see if this holds up because we still have a night game and I'm tapped out at this point. So I don't know if we're gonna probably not going to hold on to the tier 1, but I'm hoping if I can stay in that top 25, I'll grab a tier 2 limited here. But so this week I actually grabbed all 5 of my hitters on Friday morning. So I just bought this lineup because it felt like a good lineup. It was Arizona, Colorado. Yep. I stacked both sides of it. It was in Colorado with a lot of bad pitchers going. And the ones I was most excited about were Walker and Crone, and they did not disappoint. As you talked about before, Crone, big week, Walker, big week, Marte, nice. Profar, McMahon filling it in, and then Devin Williams certainly didn't hurt with the 2 saves. So having a nice week here. Hoping to grab at least a tier 2 limited with this.
I'd say so.
Lineup. Yeah.
Pull up the lineup and see how many Phillies are kind of like in your range, like right below you. That's amazing, man. Do you know off the top of your head, like what were the price ranges for guys like Walker and
so Crone? It was $12 for Walker. I got Marte for 11. Profar was 4. McMahon was 6, and Crone I got for $6.50.
Wow.
Yep.
Crone has really dropped down there. Hopefully he goes back up with that performance because, I mean, he puts up numbers, but
I think it was a particularly low buy. He's been moving more in the area of 8 to 10, but I was just keeping close tabs and got lucky on that one. So, but yeah, I kind of wanted to do a little exercise. It doesn't work this way every week, but it was a game with teams that were just bad enough that the players were affordable, but it was primed for some hitting between being at Coors and having bad pitchers, slated to be starting. Felt like something worth rolling the dice on. So if I can grab a reward and get my money back on the cards, I might even keep Walker and Crone. They're the kind of guys that we're talking about where they're gonna hit 30 home runs.
Yep.
There's gonna be weeks where they're the guy, and they're gonna continue playing each other. They're in the same division, so I might actually hold on to Walker and Crone. We'll see.
You'll get value out of them. That's almost like a perfect transition into talking about the XP play. I want to bring up a couple comments. If you want to get ready for that, I can pull up my screen again and show like kind of where I'm at for the week. Cause I think I'm holding on to a rare. I pulled this up while you're in the background. See if we maybe Trey Turner's like a buy low situation. 55.
Breaking my heart.
Could be a buy low situation. His rare. I'm looking for a rare bat, and his rare bat is like still 357, so it's still up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was wanting to take a look at that, and this week I'm doing all right with this 45th place. I got up to first, and of course had to screenshot it and throw it on Twitter. That's one of my things. Like screenshot it at the top and tweet it out, and
gotta do it.
But this was my leftovers lineup, man. Like look at I took these guys off the market too. Like I took Paredes off the market. I took Grossman was like a $3 or $4 card, put up 50 points, and it's just fun to set as many lineups as possible. So I'm gonna be kind of rolling like that. I should be able to hold because the top 65 and there's only the Astros left, so 20 people would have to pass me up for a tier 3, which is great. And then really wanted to pull through with the tier 3 rare. I thought that would have been amazing. Varsho has been a dud as of late, man. They moved him out of the 4 spot into the 5 spot, which I think is great. They flipped him and Chappie. We were talking about that in the Discord also. So, not a ton of luck on the rare all-star, but we'll get there, man. Gosman with a nice performance. Let's pull up some comments real quick and then we'll fire into your spreadsheet. But this is awesome right here to Brennan. Looks like they rescheduled the 2 Mets Braves games for tomorrow. So 5 games for them this game week. And I got Lindor, I got Riley, I got Lindor, Riley, Murphy. Those are all my guys on the limited tier. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, I was taking a look at them. That's definitely going to be the way to go if you have those cards. I mean, it's not the best matchup in the world, but 5 games, you can't argue with that. That's just the volume it's worth rolling those dice for sure.
For sure.
I don't know if you want to pull up James, but Jim and I were talking this week about the Arizona-Colorado stack. And Corbin Carroll literally ran into a wall. I don't know if you saw that play, but
no.
Went to go make a nice play on the wall, got his leg jammed in, kind of his knee leg jammed into the wall, and had to get helped off the field. Walked off under his own power, but not what you want to see with one of the young stars in the game, and certainly a bummer for anybody that had him as part of their Arizona-Colorado stack. And fortunately for me, he was priced out of what I was trying to do, so he was a little too expensive, and that's why I went down into the Marte and Walker route.
Nice. Yeah. That's any news on his return? Like, how serious is it?
Haven't looked into it. Not sure.
Got it. If anybody knows, throw it in the chats. Let's take a look here. Philip just downloaded the Sorare app today. Nice. Philip, we hope you're in for a lot of fun, man. As much fun as we're having. Jump in the Discord. The link's in the description of the video, the NFTY Sports Discord. There's a ton of people that can help you out in there, including myself. So we'll give you all the tips that you need. I got some beginner videos also. I would just start it off by having fun, man. There's people in the Discord this week talking about, they have a $50 budget to get started. And my thing was use your common cards to leverage your limited cards, right? So play in those competitions at first where you're not spending all of your budget at once, because prices will go down as the season comes along and more rewards are put out and all that and more auctions are put out and that kind of stuff. So buy a couple guys that you don't mind holding for a very long time. Again, will be great to show this like experience play right here, and then supplement those with the common cards that you're getting. That you either drafted or that you're earning on a daily basis. Oh, here we go. We got Greg coming in from the Dodger game for an intermission.
Live from 7th inning stretch, too.
Let's
hear
go.
The crowd. You guys will be happy to know I got express written consent from Major League Baseball to show you the game. We're good. Don't want to interrupt. Just wanted to say hi. I'm sorry I'm not there.
Who's your pick tonight? Who's your pick tonight, Greg? Who's your pick for Sunday Night Baseball?
Oh, shit.
I was gonna say I love everything about that video except for Greg's hat, and doesn't he kind of look like Trey Turner? There we go.
In and out, in and out.
There we go. I've tried to stream at Dodger Stadium before, and my phone almost blew up. So that's probably what happened to him.
Going back to Philip here real quick, and for anybody that is kind of just jumping in. Oh, there he is.
There we go. Oh,
he's out. He's out. If you're just jumping in, something that I just mentioned a couple minutes ago that we failed to execute on is that if you jump into the prospect common tournament, the top 50% get a tier 1 and the bottom 50% get a tier 2 common. So start there, because you can only play it once, or once you play a contest, you can't play that again. Which the real takeaway for me on that's interesting is that we can watch how many new players there are each week, which this week there were 3,000 entrants into that prospect competition. Amazing. So that's a really cool thing to keep track of. Always something that we're wanting to know, that, you know, this platform is growing. For any platform like this, a new game. So that's pretty cool. So start there, work your way up to the majors, which is still a common contest with some bonus for limited cards, and, you know, stay down there until you get the feel for it. But yeah, let's jump into this XP breakdown. So basically what I did here is I wanted to know, you want to take Phil's comment down there real quick?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So I wanted to know what it looked like in terms of gaining XP, and based around the conversation of how much of a disadvantage are we at with people that are buying that plus 5% XP bonus each season with the new cards? How quickly can we overcome that, really, is the question. And the answer is one season, really. So what I did here, it's a little bit confusing, but this top right here, the way that XP is calculated is anytime you enter a card into a contest, you get 75 experience points, plus you get 12.5% of your team score. So I went off of a really conservative estimate of scoring 150 points as a contest each time you enter. And I estimated that you could play around 50 contests in a year. You could actually do a little bit more than this, but I wanted to do everything slightly on the conservative level. But you could outperform these numbers. Wanted it to be useful for everybody. But basically what that comes down to is that at the end of one season, you'd be looking at about 4,500 XP, which is going to put you just shy of level 11. So right there, you've got that 5% bonus ready to go for the next season. And you're at no disadvantage to anybody that's buying a brand new card. And then it's not even across the board. There's a scale here. So the further you're going into level 20, the more XP it takes. And so by the time you get to end of season 2, you're looking to be around level 14, 15, which puts you at 7% bonus. And now you're really not competing with that 5% that people are buying into. So it would take you 5 years to get all the way up to level 20. So that's pretty far away. But I was really interested in knowing kind of this 5 to 7%. And to know that it really only takes one season. You can build a foundation of your core cards. This obviously doesn't work for everything because you're accumulating cards throughout the year, etc. But it's a conservative estimate. You could end up scoring an average of 200. You play more contests. You buy cards that have a baseline of XP. I certainly look at the XP when I'm buying a card from a manager. If a card has 3.5% and another one has 1%, I'm willing to spend a couple extra bucks to bypass those game weeks that I need to get there. So I just thought that it was an interesting thing to crunch the numbers on and understand that you're not at a huge disadvantage.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was great. I thought it was a great thing to analyze. And, I've thought about it too, but kind of haven't really dove that deep into it with an actual spreadsheet. But I know the concept of training, right? And that's a big thing for me in Sorare NBA, right? So Sorare NBA, you don't have positions. So you do any 5 cards. So you can train your guys like crazy. We literally have 30 lineups of like training lineups. There are 16 lineups of training lineups, something absurd, right? Not all those guys are playing, but knowing the formula that goes into it, it's part of the strategy that goes, right? Baseball, I'm only able to set 2 because, when it comes to setting each lineup, not only is it a bigger lineup, right? It is position specific. So a little bit trickier on the training end. One of the main beginner questions that we get is, is it worth buying this year's card for the additional XP, right? It's going to make marginal differences when you're going in between, like say, you want to fall into that tier 2 as opposed to the tier 3. Maybe it could have gotten you there because the margins are very slim. But when it comes to buying on the marketplace, I usually go for the cheaper old card. Within maybe like a 2 to 3% buffer range. How have you been doing that, Nate?
I agree. And if anything, I would say that I actually think that it's, if you enjoy this game and if you're planning on sticking around for a while, I would much rather have the older card that has a legitimate 3% on it that's not going away versus the 5% that's gone at the end of the year. So buying a card that simply has 5% on it, at the end of the season, it has 0 if you don't use it in a contest. So to me, I'd rather grab a foundation of somebody that already got a card to level 6 or level 7 on their own, and now I continue to add to it. The one thing that I don't fully understand yet is you lose 1% when you buy a card. And I don't know if that takes away the maximum upside. So like, can you only get to 9% of a card that's been purchased on the secondary? I don't exactly know how that works yet.
No, I don't believe so. I think it's just a downgrade per transaction.
Okay.
Because these cards transact multiple times, right? So,
Right.
You're not going to do that all the way down. That's at least to my understanding of it. So it's basically just a temporary downgrade. So you have to train it up just a little bit more. And a nugget in here from DJ Local. That's big brain stuff. He's been buying $1 guys to make more training lineups. That's sweet. That's very smart, because you can catch guys that have big weeks and can help train up and, playing some of your common cards in those lineups too. The more common cards you get, you're not going to be able to stack your lineup by the end of the season. You're going to have a ton of common cards that you're able to train people with. So that's pretty cool.
100%.
Roger coming in with the MLB stat. Warriors. Congrats to the Warriors going on to face the Lakers in the second round. We got Greg coming in here. Got to be the Astros tonight, fellas. We got 3 more minutes here. I'm going to start the giveaway if you don't mind.
Yeah, do it up.
We're giving away a Kyle Gibson, who's a good streaming option for the week. A couple of the other streamers that I had, I'll just rattle them off here. I thought John Gray versus Arizona. He's not a big strikeout guy, but he puts in solid performances. Luis Garcia against the Giants coming off of a Mexico City trip back to Houston. Morton versus the Mets is $10. Logan Gilbert at Oakland, $9. George Kirby at Oakland, $12. That's probably up a little bit. Kirby was moving with a weak floor. Erod at the Mets, $8. Stroman at Washington for $8, and then Kyle Gibson versus Kansas City, only $3. So we're doing a small giveaway, but a fun one. He's been a steady starter. I mean, we'll pull up his stats right here. He's had a little bit of a rough outing last time, but he is 4-1 with a 3.93 and 27 Ks. So, whoops. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, there it is. Let's see it in the chats for everyone that's here. #KGibbs, KGIBS.
I was just going to add to, so kind of like the whole streaming concept on the hitting side, I'm looking for guys with power, doubles and home runs. That's what gets rewarded and so rare. On the pitching side, it's strikeouts, right? Yep. So tough to predict the win. Obviously, better team, better chance of winning. But you're going for strikeouts. And so even a guy that's got a 5.5 ERA on the season and has had some terrible games, it doesn't matter because you only need it to be one good game. So a guy that's got a K per 9 ratio between 9 and 10 that could go out there and get you 8 or 9 strikeouts in a good game. That's what you're looking for. You want to know what the ceiling is. That's the most relevant part.
Yep. There we go. That's what brings to mind is when I was scouting in the offseason, I was finding guys like Pivetta, right? I mean, he's had a couple bad games. He's got a couple good games, but the upside's definitely there with the Ks. I'm thinking, I don't know if they've even dropped him on the platform yet, but it was kind of cool to see today. Colin Ray on the Brewers, 9 strikeouts in 5 innings. Struck out Ohtani, struck out Trout in the first inning. Gave up 2 solo shots, but He's been pretty steady for the Brew Crew out there, which is one of my teams on our list. And I know we skipped over that this week, but we'll take a look back into it next week when Greg's back on board and get the spreadsheet all dialed in. But that's been fun. Brendan says, good luck to the Bruins tonight. Good luck to the Bruins. Yeah, I want to see them pull through for sure. Looks like we got quite a few entries in here. Perfect. 12 entries. There's 17 people in the chat, 12 entries. So if you haven't hashtag K Gibbs yet, throw it in the chat. And then I'll pull up the giveaway tool. We'll show it live and sign off here. Should we do our picks for tonight?
Yeah, let's do it.
So right now, as of last week, Greg's 1-3, Nate's 2-2, Eric's 3-1 on the picks. Me and you hit big with our Giants. Stripling.
That was a big one. That was a big one. Team dub that night for the Giants.
That was a fun one, man. That was super fun. Who we got tonight? Phils, Bailey Falter, Strohs, or Urquidy. Who you going with?
So I think Greg said that he's going Strohs, yeah?
Yeah, Greg's going Strohs. We'll pull that back up.
Well, they've been letting me down in Sorare, but I'm stacked on Philly in limited. I'm stacked on Philly in my commons, and they're on an 8-2 run right now. So despite the slight disadvantage in pitching matchup, I'm going Philadelphia.
Philly it is. We're split 2-2. I'm going with Greg. I'm going with the Astros.
Love it.
The Stros tonight, I think they can get it done. Yeah, man. I think that's just going to be my pick. With that
I'm really rooting for, though, is a 1-0 ball game so that I can grab a top 3 finish in that's what I'm looking for.
I'm jumping on that train with you. I love it. 1-0 ball game.
Yep.
We'll report back next week with Nate's nice prize that he's got going there. And let's draw this thing right here.
Let's do it.
16 entries. You'll love to see it. Last chance. I'll give you 5 more seconds. Thank you all for joining. I guess I'll sign it off on this. Thank you all for jumping on the stream today. It's been a super fun one. The 30-minute stream. We're at 33 minutes right now, and it's been a blast. Next week, we'll be back to the full length, but appreciate you jumping on the birthday stream, making it a good B-day. Shout out to all of you. Shout out to Nate for jumping on here, and good luck to his Bees tonight. 18 entries. Let's do it.
Good luck.
Good luck. Norman. There we go. Congratulations. Congrats, Norman.
Love that PFP. I don't even know what that is, but that's cool.
It's a Jolly Joker, baby.
Very cool.
Yeah, love it. Norman, big time congrats. Thanks for jumping in, all of you. We'll be back again next week. We'll do another giveaway next week. We'll make our picks. We'll talk So Rare. We'll talk candy and all that good stuff. All right. We out. See you later.
It was fun. See you guys later.